Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3. Are you ready to take your money, business, and life to the next level? You are worth more, and you're about to hear how and why. So buckle up and listen up as we journey to the next level. Please welcome your guides to reach your goals, the TW3 family.
But today, what I wanted to share with you is how to drive your open rate in your emails up. Now, this is a training I've done for some of our members at TW3. You don't have to be a member at TW3 to get value out of this training that I'm going to do, because if you use another software like MailChimp, GetResponse, Aweber, any of those guys, a lot of what I'm going to show you, you can do the same over there. I think the only thing that I'm going to illustrate, or at least allude to, in this particular training that you might not have on those other platforms, is the ability to do some strategic follow-up with your texting system. Because one of the things that our email platform will allow you to do is integrate both email and text together so that you can condition your client to open up your emails. Because a lot of times, especially if you're using email software like GetResponse, Aweber, GVO, Constant Contact, all of those guys, while they have a really good, and they try to protect their reputation with various companies like Google, Yahoo, and AOL, they still get flagged a lot. And so it's just par for the course that when you're using those type of softwares and systems, open rates sometimes suffer because of it. And so one of the things that you can do to mitigate your emails from just constantly being just sort of sent off to spam, junk, or promo folder, which is typically what happens when you're sending out mass emails, is use a text within the chain of that conversation that is conditioning your client to say, hey, I am sending you this email, or I just sent this email. If you didn't get it, check your junk, spam, promotional folder, and just sort of condition them, hey, go over and look at this because I've been sending this to you. So that's a great way of getting your prospective clients conditioned to sort of open that. So here are the three things I would tell you if you want to drive up your open rate. And so let me get over here to where this is at. And what I'm going to be illustrating is my app. Now, like I said, let me get over here to my app so that you can see my screen here. So let's just get over here so that you know what I am showing. This is the TW3 app. It's in the back office that if you are a member, you're going to recognize this. But if you're not a member, like I said, some of the things I'm going to show here, Aweber, GetResponse, GVO, those guys, all of those have very similar components. The only thing that they might not have is the texting component that our app has that you can tie in to sort of condition your client to be able to see. But here's the thing I would tell you to do. Number one, when you're creating an email campaign and you're trying to drive up, because what I've been able to do, just so you know, I'll pop it over here so you can see this. I've got nearly a 70% open rate on a lot of my emails now, which is unheard of in email marketing. That's why you hear people all the time saying, oh, email's dead, email's dead. You need to go over to social media and just do all your marketing over there. The problem with social media marketing, there's pros and cons to it. Number one, it opens you up to a whole new world out there and people that aren't necessarily clients of yours. And you're reaching them on a place and in a place that they are frequenting. So all that's great. The downside to it is you're playing in someone else's sandbox. So it's always, what you can say, who you can say, how you present it, all those different things, which may be fine, but then again, it may not be fine for your objectives. And so social media is rented space, okay? And so I always tell people that, use social media to the extent that it serves your purpose, but don't build your house on social media. You need to always own your email. You need to always own your data. I heard some of these faux gurus for years saying, it's the day of needing to own data is over because we can get the data we need from LinkedIn or Facebook and all that. And it's rented space. Sometimes you can get what you want. Sometimes you can't reach out to that person the way you want, the way you need, and all of that. And when you have it in your own CRM, your own customer relation management system like we have here, you can reach them out, touch them via text, touch them via email. You can also touch them via social media. You can touch them on multiple levels, which makes your engagement much more personal, much more meaningful, and it's going to help you overall in things like we're talking about here, which is to drive up your open rate. So as you can see here, I've got nearly a 70% open rate right here. Now, it all starts with the way I approach that client. So if you'll notice, and you can do this, like I said, in your email program. So if you're already using something like MailChimp, GetResponse, Aweber, those guys, you can use this. But if you'll notice those little tags there, it says their first name. The way I have got my system set up, my data is I've got first name, last name, email, telephone number, physical address, city, state, zip code. These are typically just the must-have for me to have them in my database. I don't even accept it in my CRM if I don't have those. And there's a reason for that. And you're about to find out. I know a lot of times, and a lot of these marketers out there, man, if I can just grab their email, that's all I want. Well, that's what's driving your open rate down when you have very limited data. The more data I can collect, their name, how I reached them, where did they come from, the source of that person, all of that kind of information I collect. And the reason I do is because it all informs everything from my subject line to my content, which you're about to see. So in my subject line, some things that I always do is I put their name in it, or their city, or their state, or the industry they're in, or the company they work for. In this particular example, I'm using the subject line of their name. Hey, first name, hey, Bobby. When you get up 4 minutes, check this out. Now, if you'll notice, I'm talking to, let's say, Bobby here, as if we're friends, as if Bobby already knows me, and he might not know me at all. But that's how I would talk to someone I know, right? So I don't try to start selling on my subject line. I'm not showing numbers. I'm not showing, get this insurance policy or get this piece of real estate or get this. I don't quote anything. I'm not talking industry talk, not doing any of that stuff. What I'm doing is I'm talking to them like a real person. I'm saying, hey, their first name, and then I'm going right into, when you get a second, look at this, because this is, if I was sharing something with my friends at church or school or in my business, this is how I would talk to them. So that's the first thing. So I'm going to say, first name. Now, it could be like if I was calling on, let's say, realtors down in Georgia, maybe they're in Smyrna. So maybe if I know I've got this data list of 21st century real estate agents there in Smyrna, I might say, hey, first name, I noticed you were in brackets city, and I work with a lot of brackets company name in that area. So it could be, hey, Bobby, I work with a lot of Century 21 agents there in Smyrna, Georgia. And I could have those brackets to where I could send that one email piece throughout the entire country. But for every person that got it, it would look like I'm specifically talking to you in that city, in that industry, in that state. So I love brackets, and I use it to try to be personal. I try to make it urgent as much as possible. A lot of times I try to ask questions. Like, how would you like to get a 70% open rate on your email? That was one of the things I was doing that I'm going to be doing to promote this training here that I'm doing with you guys live as I practice LinkedIn. But in your subject, it all starts, if your open rate's going to start with your subject. Okay. So I use names, cities, addresses. I ask questions. I try to be urgent. Hey, when you get 4 minutes, check this out. Something like that. Try to drive that. The second thing is I'm going to try in the content to use names, cities, like addresses, anything I can do to personalize it to this person. Okay. So like, let's go over here. I've got to this was a recruiting piece I sent out for some insurance guys I'm recruiting for, right? So schedule interview 4, contact first name. So when someone gets that, if I'm sending this out to a mass of group of people that are licensed insurance agents that I know would find value in seeing, opportunities in that space. Well, if they see their first name up there, they get the idea maybe this isn't for everyone. And then I put their first name in. Hey, Bobby, we have received your application for the position in Smyrna. Before we schedule an interview, let's take 15 minutes to see if this is the right time, this is the right business for you, or this is the right opportunity. And I say, I still have your number, isn't it? I put their number in there. All of a sudden, all of this information, all it's doing is going into making this a more personable piece. So I got them to open it because I'm using personal information. And then when they see the information, it's being as personable as possible. And if you'll notice, all that is an image file looking like a video. It's not a video, okay? It's just an image file. And sometimes I'll put GIFs in there, and a GIF is nothing, or a GIF, however you pronounce it, is I'm wanting to get them to click. Okay, I'm incentivizing. So that was an image file with a video play button on it, but you're trying your best to incentivize this and just make it clear. Oh, I'm supposed to click here. And I made it safe for them because I let them know what they're getting into. Hey, when you get a few moments, when you get 15 minutes, check this out. Okay, so I'm sort of preconditioning of what they're about to get into, because the worst thing that could happen is they have in their head, this is just a couple minutes. They get into it. Oh, this is 5-10 minutes. I don't have time because I'm at the office or I'm doing this. And then they forget about it. Right. So I'm wanting them, when they click on that, they've got time to watch that. So I'm conditioning them there. And then finally, what I would tell you is to, if you don't see that, let me get that over there just so you can see that piece right there. I was talking about it and I don't think you saw it. So if you'll see here, first, scheduled interview, contact name here, all those brackets. You can do that in a lot of programs. Now, the thing that you can't do in the other programs out there, is you can't then monitor who's clicked what or who's opened what, and then have it triggered to send out a text. And that's the magic about having some of these components married together. So I would tell you, if your system doesn't do that, consider looking at ours that does, or a system that will do it, because 98% of text are opened, right? National average is around 2% of emails are opened anymore. You want to drive it up to 70%, tie it to a text system. And that's what we do. So what I'll do is I'll send out an email, and I've got a trigger that says, hey, if they don't open this within 3 days or 2 days or whatever I want to set it, I send it out an email and I say, hey, Bobby, I sent you a text about blank, and I know you live in blank. Check it out. I think it'd be something you want to look at. So boom, urgency. And a lot of times he's responding, hey, I never got it. Can you resend that? And all I'm doing is pushing it right back out. I have my system push it out. Driving up the open rate and the click rate of your text takes some conditioning. So, and the other thing I would tell you is, if you want to drive up your open rate and you don't have a text system, here's something you can do that's real easy and simple, and it's counterintuitive to what a lot of people think. A lot of people think, oh, I don't want to send out too much email because they'll feel spammed and then they'll get mad at me. No. It's quite opposite. The more email you send, the more consistent you are, and they know that, hey, once a day I get an email from Terry, or once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. But being consistent and being, right there on time every time, it will drive your open rate as well. And don't be afraid to send out an email every day or every other day, as long as, and here's the prerequisite, as long as every time you're sending something out, you're bringing value. Okay. And so what I try to do is I have 2 pieces of content that I'm producing myself once a week. So that gives me an excuse to send something out. It gives my members an excuse to send something out. And then I'm aggregating, or I'm bringing together, collating other people's content that would bring emphasis on what I'm doing, and sort of, serve as another piece that would bring value to them.